the next artist who's going to be performing for us hails from Tasmania, Australia. And when Amber and I were making the As I Am films, we stayed with Cindy Treanor in her home for about a month. And I'm not sure if everyone here has seen the As I Am films, but we would be sent to a country and we'd have a month to find a story. And a lot of times it was incredible, but it was also very stressful because we'd have to discover a really good story in a month. And so at times when we would be feeling really stressed out in Cindy's basement, Amber and I would hear Cindy and she'd be practicing the guitar or she'd be writing a new song. And it really always felt like our souls would just return back into our bodies when we'd hear her sing. And since then, we've created this kind of artistic call and response between her music and my films. And whenever I finish a film, I send it to her, and she usually writes a song. And honestly, whenever I hear the songs, I realize where my film should have gone, but didn't get to go. So she always actually understands my films more deeply than I do, and she takes it to the next level in her music. So anyway, that's how I'd like to introduce you, Cindy, and she's the closest thing I know to Joni Mitchell. So without further ado, Cindy Treanor.
I was saying I'm not sure that I'm so close to Joni Mitchell, but maybe you take that where you can get it. So yeah, it's been very inspiring for me as a songwriter to see and experience Michael's films, and today with the song I'd like to take us to Japan. So for some people who may have seen the beautiful, extraordinary film 19 Paper Cranes, which tells the story of the massacre in July 2016, where a previous employee broke into an institution for people with disabilities and killed 19 people and injured 26 others. And he wrote a letter to the government about his intentions. And one of the things he says in the letter is that people with a disability can only cause unhappiness. And boy, do we know that that's a lie. That's a big, dirty lie, And but out of that, whenever I see Michael's films, there's always one image that I think, there's a song in that. And so there's a beautiful image with Kito in the L'Arche community where she's cutting with scissors a replica of the letter. These great big scissors with great force and intention, and they make the letter into artisan paper, and out of the paper they make 19 paper cranes. And their belief is on the wings of cranes, the souls of the people who've died go to heaven. And it's just a beautiful challenge of the awful assumptions in the letter and like Jordan was saying earlier, I find myself more and more uncomfortable with the terminology disability, because I think, unless we call every human being on the planet as having a disability, because who of us has only abilities? I mean, it seems a terrible terminology. So this song is called These Hands, and it's about the story, but also challenging the false assumptions that are so often held. One day, one man held a letter of assumptions that a person would agree. One day, one man took the lives of people sleeping in a place where no one's seen. One day, one land held this story as a secret, so the world it did not know. One day, one man Change a nation's history as the record books now show. Who'll take a stand against the power of false assumptions in a world that does not see? Who'll shed a tear for each life that's been taken as now shown in history? One day, two hands held a ladder of assumptions in a place where love is born. One day, two hands cut the words to paper ribbons so the message was transformed. One day, these hands crafted from these false assumptions ancient parchment made anew. One day, these hands offered prayers for each life taken on wings of cranes, their spirits flew. Who'll take a stand against the power of false assumptions in a world that does not see? Who'll shed a tear for each life that's been taken as now shown in history? Each day our hands can work against these false assumptions so the world will finally see. Each day our hands can offer love and live forgiveness and so change our history. Each day these hands can offer gentle acts of kindness in a world that does not know. Each day these hands can offer prayers to our Creator. Through these hands God's love will show. We'll take a stand, live out the true assumptions so the world will finally see. We'll shed a tear, show that each life lived is sacred and so change our history. I've certainly found lots of inspiration from the As I Am films, and it was, as Michael said, it was great when he and Amber came to stay. And when they were staying with us, they wrote and made the film partly about Catherine Black, and her story. And Catherine is an inspiring woman, and if you haven't seen her film called On My Own, it's certainly worth a look. And part of her story is she's looking for a sense of freedom. Part of her story is she's felt always that maybe, you know, she was living somebody else's life and she was looking to live her own life. And in one of the lines in the film, she says that one of her dreams is to be as free as a bird. And that inspired this song, which is called Learning to Fly. And Catherine is one of the people in my life who inspires me to fly, because isn't that something that we all want? I'm learning to fly with my feet on firm ground. I'm learning to love who I am now. I'm learning to fly, no cages for me. I'm longing to live, my spirit set free. I'm learning to fly. cages for me. I'm longing to live. My spirit's set free. I'm learning to fly. Watch me soar above your fear. Catch me if I fall. Love and hope has brought me here, and I have been reborn. And I'm learning to fly. No cages for me. I'm longing to live. My spirit's set free. I'm learning to fly. I'm learning to fly. I'm learning to fly. Watch me fly. So this next song, it's really interesting when you sing or are part of a concert such as this, and no one's talked to each other really about what they're going to do, but how things fit together. So I was interested when Jordan was talking about the freedom song, his freedom song, and the animation from that, but also for me on Down Syndrome Day, I wanted to think a bit about the times where people, for whatever reason, are perceived as being different, whether that's because of differing abilities or race or belief or sexual preference, and that there's people experience so much discrimination. And this is a song that's called It's Time, that was written in response to someone's particular circumstance. But I think it also resonates on World Down Syndrome Day. And I also think about, some of the, like the Don't Scream Me Out campaign in the UK for all the babies who have Down syndrome who don't even get the chance to live because they're screened out before they can be born. And so this is a song about it being time for change. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Do you know my name? When you look at me, what do you see? Do you think I'm not the same as you? But I live and breathe, I laugh and weep. I have so many dreams, not unlike yours. I'm not what you see. There's so much more to me that's hidden from your eyes. But time is my enemy. The weight strips my dignity, 'cause I'm running out of time to live a life that's mine. It's time for change. It's time for change. It's time for change. It's time. If you were me for a moment, you would know the pain of rejection and oppression when no one speaks your name. You so many dreams not unlike mine. You say I'm not what you see. There's so much more to me that's hidden from your eyes. But time is your enemy. The weight strips your dignity, 'cause you're running out of time to live a life that's mine. It's time for change. It's time for change. It's time for change. It's time. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, the clock is counting time. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, when will you hear our cry? 'Cause time is our enemy. The weight strips our dignity, 'cause we're running out of time to live a life that's mine. It's time for change. It's time for change. It's time for change. It's time.
Thank you so much, Cindy. Nick is a guy with cerebral palsy who used to be a independent living advocate. So his job was to help people find independent living if they had a disability. And he got a bed sore one day, and he was put in a nursing home just for one night, they said, because when he was in the hospital for like 2 weeks, he got evicted from his housing, and so then they had to put him somewhere. So they said, okay, just go here for the night, sign on the dotted line, and we'll get you out tomorrow. But once he had signed his name into the system as being institutionalized, it's now been 3.5 years, and he was 30. How old was he? 38 years old when he was put in the nursing home, and yeah, he hasn't been able to get out. So I made a film with him, and one of our big goals is to get him out of there. But he talked about what it's like to be in a nursing home and to watch people become numbers. And so when she said, "Do you know my name?" I literally was in the nursing home and I heard people referring to him as his room number over and over and over again. They wouldn't even say his name. They'd say 31, 31. And that's just the start of it. So there is a long way to go in this fight, and that tick-tock just drills down into my heart when I hear you sing that.